Okay, welcome to the Unshakable Ads Blueprint. This is the how-to video where I want to show you step by step how to execute the Unshakable Ads strategy. So just a quick overview. We need to nail the economics, make sure that our campaign objective is aligned with how much we're making from our customers. We need to correctly associate the structure with the campaign so that we don't fatigue our good audiences while leveraging Facebook's machine learning algorithm to redistribute our money correctly across those audiences. And finally, 3, dynamic distribution. I'll show you how to watch those campaigns and make sure that the best audiences and ads are getting connected and being executed on. Okay. So the first thing is we need to choose a campaign objective. How do you choose a campaign objective? So there's really kind of 2 approaches you could take here. One is a straight conversion campaign where you're just trying to get to someone to buy something on your website or take some sort of action where they're paying you money. Another approach to this is to do essentially a leads campaign or any other campaign where we're not asking them to buy, but we are asking them to come into our ecosystem that we retarget later. So you need to consider how much you are making per customer to figure out which one of these to do. Most retailers are making less than $100 a year per customer, and if that is you, then you want to do a sales campaign. Why? Because it doesn't make sense to target somebody twice. Now, if your LTV or your average yearly revenue per customer is above 100, then you might want to consider a leads campaign. In this case, we're going to be doing a sales campaign and going to be using a garden center as our example. And so how do we calculate LTV for this garden center? I've got all the customers, how much they've spent in 2023, and then just average that out to get our average revenue of about $91. So we fall into that sales campaign territory. Okay, so that's step number 1. Step number 2 is get the campaign structure right. This is probably the most important, and a lot of people don't know how to structure their campaigns correctly. So we're going to do manual sales campaign because for this particular client, we don't have pixels set up. But what we want to do at the campaign level here is set up our campaign with Advantage plus budgeting. And we will do that because it's going to use Facebook's machine learning algorithm to accurately redistribute our money. So I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to call this Garden Center campaign, and then we need to select Advantage Campaign Budget Plus, and you can choose whatever you want here. Just a thought here, you can do a bid cap on your bid strategy to ensure that you're not spending more than what you would get from a customer. So I might want to put my bid cap in this case at anywhere below $50 so we can get ROI still. Okay, so the next part is we are at ad sets. So the structure that we want here is we want to include 1 warm audience, which means these people are already our customers. So I've uploaded a list of emails here, and this is essentially a retargeting audience. And then 4 cold audiences. Why do we want to do this? Because typically retargeting audiences are going to get the most budget spent on them. People typically put those in their own campaign, and then Facebook spends all that budget and then fatigues that audience out. Whereas what we're going to do here is not allow that audience to get fatigued while still getting the ROI, and then redistributing our ad dollars across those cold audiences as well. And that helps us understand a better prospecting audience. And it's a way to automated do personalization and audience targeted. Okay, so how do we do that? So we want to create our first ad set, and we're going to make this our warm leads ad set. And then we need to go down here. In this case, we do have a location. Your brand may not have a location, but we're going to do a 20-mile radius. And then we want to choose Advantage plus audience. So we want to do custom audience here, and we want to get our 2023 customers. Perfect. So this is the customer list that we have uploaded in the audiences section if you want to know where to do that. And that's all we need to do here. But what we want to do just to speed this up is we are going to duplicate this, and we're going to make 4 copies of this to create our 4 cold audiences. And we need to correctly label these. So I'm on our ad set level here, and it's our copy. And so now we need to remove this customer list and add a cold audience. So a cold audience could be a behavior audience, an interest audience from Facebook. It could also be an audience that you've got from a third-party company that you know will activate well. So we're going to do an interest in a third-party company in this case. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to add one audience. Let's do plants lovers. Really generic here. And then we're going to label that correctly so we know in our next step what's performing well. Okay, great. So now we can go to our next one. And we're going to create a new audience here. We're going to remove our warm audience, and we can do custom audiences. In this case, we know that from our persona live segments, this particular location is visited about 5 times more likely from Sunset Boomers. So we've got that audience in there, and we just need to say J Sunset Boomers. Okay. And then we can do the same thing with these other 2 ad sets, and then we will have our correct campaign structure, which is 1 warm audience and 4 cold audiences. The next thing that we want to do is add our ads to that audience, and what we want to do here is create 3 different ad types. And ideally, you can get a video, an image, and a carousel in there. And then we're going to duplicate that across all 5 of our audiences, so everybody's going to be getting the same 3 ads. And then Facebook will dynamically find out which ad type works the best with that audience so that we get the best performance. So to do that, we can just click into this new ad set, and we go down to the ad level. And lots of different things here. I'm not going to get into the details here, but we can add the media here. So we can add an image. Got an image there. Hit next. And now we have placed this, and we can see a preview of what that video will look like. And then we want to do this, so we want to add another ad here. And then we can add a different image in here. So in this case, we might do an image. So we can edit that media, change video, and I think you get a sense of how to do that. So you just take those 3 images across that campaign. Now the next step is you want to see the performance of those ads across a period of time. So you can do dynamic distribution. So when we launch this, we're going to activate. That's step 1. After a few weeks, usually 2 weeks is about good enough, depending on how much you're spending, you want to assess that ad and assess the ad set. So which of our 5 ad sets are performing the best? We know our warm is going to perform well, but of those 4 cold, which are performing the best? And we will want to axe the audiences that are not performing well. So that's our next step over here. And then our final step is adapt, where we can either take our money that we were spending on the poor performing audiences and putting it into our higher performing audiences, or we can choose a new audience and try that audience out to see how that performs. You want to do that audience level, then you can do that at the ad level as well to make sure we're getting the right ads to connect with that audience. And that is the full Unshakable meta ads blueprint. I think you guys are going to love this, and it's going to bring so much consistency to the performance of your campaign ads, and it will allow you to feel confident about your process. Talk soon.